While it's quiet, we'll have a quick wander around the woods. I've been doing some major weeding today because it's really hot today, and basically if you hoe the weeds when it's hot, then they'll just wither up and die fairly quickly. My husband's been doing some pruning work today. The trees that I was mentioning the other day, the apple trees, he's given them a prune at about 6 foot tall, so that's sort of going to form an apple tree hedge. He's trimmed the grass at this end of the rose garden as well. So we've decided that we're just going to put this area down to let it go back to grass so that it's a bit more manageable for us. Once we get through May, things will slow down. This year I'm going to be having a major Chelsea chop of all of the borders, because basically the roses are going to come first this year before anything else. So I'm not too worried about growing flowers for cutting as I did last year, because I grew quite an extensive range of flowers last year to sell for the vase, but that's not really working out the way I wanted it to, so I'm changing and not going to be doing that anymore. So I hope you're all having a nice relaxing Sunday. This hazel tree's growing really well, getting quite big now. Oh, that's another hazel. As these grow and get thicker stems, I'll be using some of those for my broom handles. I make besom brooms, and I'm always looking for nice handles with a little bit of character, so those hazel branches are more traditional as a broom handle. I'm going to take you deeper into the woodland today, where it's a little bit more covered and it's cooler, because I think the temperature's around 20-21 degrees today, and it's really nice in the trees when it's so warm. We've got a butterfly over there. Come on lady, open your wings. Come on lady, open up your wings so we can see you. She's enjoying some nectar from the blossom. These are all apple trees. Still fairly young, I suppose. Probably most of them are between 10 and 12 years old. There are a lot of younger ones as I keep adding to the collection. So this is the west side of the woods. The trees have got quite tall in this area. Look at this willow. It's not overly thick stemmed, but look how tall it goes. It's obviously got its roots down now and is quite happy in this area. So peaceful. Another butterfly. Oh, this poor old willow tree's branch is leaning over. This has quite a lot of deer damage, if you can see that. The bark's been stripped off. I'm doing all I can to prevent all the damage, but at the end of the day there's only so much that you can do. I wouldn't want to harm the deer, even though they are a pain in the bum. You know, they are nature, part of the ecosystem. It's lovely and cool here. We've had quite a few trees that have died in the past, just basically due to it being so dry. We've got clay soil in the ground here, and it's like a dead pan. It goes so hard when it's dry in the summer, and big cracks appear. Oh, sorry, that's a pigeon. I've scared it and it's just scared me. This is one of my favourite trees at the moment that I'm just bringing you to have a look at. I just love the blossom. It's just so white. This is the one I've named Snow White. I'll just go under the tree and film it from the other side so that you can see it out the sunlight. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I know roses take a lot of beating for beauty, but when you get blossom that sort of colour en masse, then it's really quite striking. So back under the canopy of coolness. The birch trees starting to sprout. These are the ones that I poppiced last year. I'm starting to get some nice buds high up, which is what I want, because that way the deer won't eat them, damage the tree, and eventually just almost kill it if they're left to just keep chewing. I do love a Sunday. I know some people have to work on a Sunday, but I always just think it's such a relaxing day. Even though I keep working through Sunday, it just somehow has just got a different feel to it than the rest of the week. Hear the traffic in the distance. We've got a fairly main road quite a way away, but the wind's blowing this way today, so it's carrying the noise. On the headland I've got a walnut tree here, which I grew from seed that I got from Warwick Castle actually. I just picked it up off the ground. But fortunately, again, the same old story. The deer have been chewing it. They seem to be leaving it alone now, but when it was younger they did chew it rather a lot. I think at the last count, when we first started planting, I think we put in about 3,000 trees altogether. We're on this, probably about, the total area we've got is just slightly under 3 acres, and the garden area is probably, the garden and house probably about 3/4, so the actual woodland's probably about 2 1/4, I would say. got quite a lot of alder trees in this area because it's so wet. Alders love to have the feet in the damp soil, and they help to condition it as well, so that's one of the reasons that I put them in, and also because they grow so quickly and they are quite good for fuel for the wood burner. And I've also got a solid fuel Rayburn, so it just helps to supplement the wood that we buy. This is a willow that's starting to sprout out. These are the ones that I coppiced earlier in the year. Nice to see that they're growing the way they should be. I will be taking off any of the lower shoots because they do need thinning out. The ideal thing really is to leave probably between 6 and 10 good strong stems onto each stump, and then they've got the room to grow into a decent sized branch, because you don't really want to be cutting them too often. I know they do when they grow them for biomass, but then the trees are shredded so that they can use them. I think they cut them probably every 2 to 3 years, but eventually that will weaken the tree and they'll most likely die and have to be replaced. But they don't really care about that because they grow them as a crop, whereas I'm growing them as a tree, a living entity that needs to be looked after and not abused. So this is a lovely birch, really tall, massively tall. I won't be cutting this one down at all because it grew quite naturally as a 3-stemmed silver birch of some ilk. They all interbreed and you get all sorts of hybrids, but yeah, that's a beautiful tree. I really love this tree. This is a willow that was cut down a couple of years ago, and it was a multi-stem tree as it was anyway, so I cut each of the stems at about 3 foot high, and then when they started growing I thinned them out, but they've all leafed up, so they're looking quite happy. So they'll be left to grow now for about 2 or 3 years, by which time the branches will be maybe 3 to 4 inches in diameter, and then they'll be ready to be cut again. I've got a nice little patch of forget-me-nots here, which I think I might have spread some of the seed last year and they've taken, which is nice. Started to grow in the damp soil. I had a big patch of daffodils here. They've all gone over. Probably need the tops taking off and just dispersing around in the hope that they might grow into bulbs. I don't know really how you grow daffodil bulbs. Here we've got some more apple tree blossoms. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll cut it off now and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to be notified of my videos, I've done quite a few shorts lately. One of me putting the pump into the well because we use a lot of well water. If you subscribe to my channel, then I think you should get notifications whenever I do a video. We'll hopefully soon have some roses. The first one I think this year is going to be the Madame Alfred Carrier, which is a lovely white Bourbon rose, or Schoolgirl, which is a peachy coloured climbing rose of the hybrid tea variety. So I'm really looking forward to those, and I hope you can join me. Bye for now.